We try to show, and above all, not to forget that there are unusual and strange facts that exist all around us. He's right. He is right. Where's the music coming from? We have installed an innovative music reproduction system based on magnetic media and distributed several speakers along the tour route. What you are hearing is a looped playback of Through the Cosmos by Matthew Elm. It's an ideal piece to set the mood for the visit, don't you think? We'll take a look around. Make yourselves at home, detectives. Yeah, this game has entered my biosphere, my little microverse at a very interesting time. You know, as a sort of like synchronicity, you know, like the themes and the subjects in this game are very much lining up with my current system of beliefs and values, especially towards like this battle between science and superstition, or the supernatural, religion, whatever you want to call it. Like I guess that the best way to put it is, with science you lack meaning, and with religion or belief or the occult you lack empirical evidence. So it's just like, where do the two roads meet? Because they both have like their these arguments to contradict one another, and it's just like, I think that's the thing with the universe in general, is that it's a contradiction. You know, like, so like science is like, you know, God can't exist, and religion is like, well, you can't save us, science. And it's just like, what happens? It's like the two drives in every human being. You have like the Cain and you have the Abel, and they are supposed to fight and to one, like, destroy each other to create a new, or destroy one to create a new. Like, these exist in all fundamentals of the universe. Like, you have these two fighting brothers. Like, it's like an as early as back as you can go. Like, if you look at the name Adam from Adam and Eve, you see obviously that stands for atom, you know? And I think in the earliest periods, they always used the human body to explain the universe, like to map out the universe. They had like figurines and temples and stuff like that they used to basically be this roadmap to the universe. Like, everything from point A to point B has been based on the human body. And like, that's where it's like the thing with Adam, you know, he's Adam and Eve, they create the sons Cain and Abel, and like that can just be seen as like composites of more atoms kind of just fighting this molecular battle to decide which atoms become the ones that rule over the other atoms, and, you know, develop into these biological beings or creations of some sort. You know, like, what I'm saying is, this is where I'm at in life, where it's just like everything is undeniably pointing in the direction of science being just, you know, huffing its own fucking farts. And I think it has been for the you know, the longest time now. These materialists and science nerds have just been exuberantly huffing their own farts. And I think the most part they do it is they do it out of spite. You know, they do it out of spite because they look at the world and they say, you know, it's a goddamn cruel place, and it is. And trust me, I've studied Schopenhauer. I've read enough from Nietzsche, you know, two of the smartest men in human history who denied God. And I still fundamentally can't agree with this idea of there being no sort of schism of that created, like, because some sort of cosmic thing that happened that created human beings, like, in the universe. Like, I can't find myself just saying, like, what the like, what, it just popped one day, like in Ghostbusters, like, you know, the just a thought happened and we just popped. Well, if we popped like a thought, then that means like some sort of cosmic overlord was thinking about us. There's it's just like, you gotta hand it to the materialists for just sitting there and always just, it's almost like the flat earthers, you know, like whatever you tell them, they're going to find a way to loop around it and throw the argument back in your face, even if you show them the most definitive evidence. And that's the thing, you really can't show them evidence, and you really can't have evidence of any sort of supernatural being at this point. But like, there's been countless examples of just strange paranormal things happening in this world. And I guess I spent, like I said, a part of my life being a non-believer, and it was mostly out of spite. It was out of spite, you know. It's like I was sitting there saying to myself, you know, these things like, there is no God, there is no God. But I was saying it with like anger, you know. I was saying it with this resounding sort of underground man type of cynicism that was like, it was trying to speak to something that couldn't hear me. Well, like, what am I trying to speak to then? Am I trying to speak to God, you know, and tell him that you don't exist, you know? And I think that's what commonly most atheists do. Now, I'm not saying I believe in a God. I think I don't know at this point. I've had so much to think about in all these years, and my opinion has been always just transmorgifying into one thing into the other. And it's just this evolving sort of, you know, this sort of cosmic opera in my mind. Like, you know, that's like really what it is. It's like this cosmic like opera, like Star Wars is like a space opera, you know, like that's kind of what I think really at the end of the day. It's not this omnipotent thing. No. I think that's silly to think that's omnipotent, because if it was omnipotent, it wouldn't need this sort of cosmic drama that we go through. And I think that's to explain for like why the world's so cruel, Mr. Schopenhauer, why it's, you know, this awful place where you think the will is this blind sort of arrogant thing, which I do agree with in many extents it is. But yeah, like it's part of this growing process of the cosmic schism, or the cosmic the sort of just the seeds that grow into the great tree that is you know, the golden cosmic you know, manna tree, whatever you want to call it, the tree of life. I don't know. It's also like thinking too, like the cruelness in the world, like so many mythologies I've seen that, like, you know, and even people just in works of art, like, you know, Cormac McCarthy books, like the whole point is carrying the light, you know, carrying the flame through the darkness. Like even Carl Jung would see that in his dreams, you know, where he's got these shadows surrounding him and he's got a lantern in his hand. It doesn't matter what they're trying to do or what he's thinking. The whole point is just to keep moving through the darkness, carrying the light. And that's like another explanation to, like, you know, why this world's not the nicest place, you know. Like it's about the small fragments of light, you know, finding their way home, it seems like to me. And so it kind of falls back into Gnosticism, you know. But what I'm ultimately saying at the end of the day, I think it's silly at this point to to denounce any sort of supernatural element to any of this. It's fucking silly. You're silly for thinking that at this point. You're silly. You just want to impress your friends, you know? I mean, that's why most people did it when I was young. I came from somewhat of a small town, so very religious. Where's that guide? I believe he's coming this way. Welcome to the Arkham Museum of the Unusual. Please step closer. My name is Horace Chambers, and I will be your guide throughout the tour. If you desire information about any of the pieces